Stellantis, a few days ago, has said that they're going to be axing some brands within their umbrella. And most importantly, there are some US brands that I guarantee they're going to be axing, and it's not looking good for the car enthusiasts out there or anyone who likes the brands that the US has that Stellantis owns. Let's talk about what's going on with Stellantis overall, with the US companies, and see if we can even figure out what the hell is going to happen moving forward. Okay, so this is kind of old news, but I wanted to cover it because Dodge is supposed to be coming out with their inline six turbocharged engine in their new Dodge Charger, and maybe even the Challenger as well, even though they haven't announced that yet. And my number one concern, and even if you're not a Dodge person, just being a car enthusiast in general, my number one concern is where the hell are they? Ford's been making Mustang GTs, although they're not selling whatsoever and getting a massive price increase for the V8 engines from the GT all the way up to the Dark Horse. Dodge right now doesn't have any new performance vehicle offerings right now. So we don't even know when they're going to come out. So Stellantis coming out with this saying that they're ready to axe brands and fix US problems is a little concerning. We know Chrysler is probably going to go. Let's be honest. Chrysler is probably going to go. Who buys just the vans? Who buys the vans at all anymore? And Stellantis has noticed that the EV stuff, right? EVs aren't selling. They're one of the worst vehicles to buy right now. Ford lost billions of dollars. GM reported they're losing a ton of money and they've made mistakes. And Stellantis is seeing that it's a problem too. Because look at the Dodge Hornet. The Dodge Hornet was supposed to be like this hybrid type setup and help them lower their smog basically, so they can put out other vehicles, kind of like what Ford's doing now. Ford could put out the performance V8s and whatnot because they have enough like smog credits to be able to do that because of all their electric vehicles and their hybrids. But the one hybrid that Dodge puts out, the Hornet, they're not selling at all. None of those Hornets are selling. So it's possible, this is going to sound insane, but it's possible that they might be thinking about even axing Dodge. Now, there is another one here mentioning that, and this is today, by the way, July 31st, that Stellantis CEO Tavares calls out problems in the U.S. market, including at RAM. RAM is making too many broken trucks, not enough ads for incentives. So we know overall that all the car companies are struggling, but some more than others. And the main issue across the board is prices. Prices have increased dramatically. Now, I mentioned this in a previous video, but supply chain issues really aren't they're non-existent for car manufacturers, because the way some of that stuff works, or should I say the way all of it works, is they get a lot of priority from the governments and trade agreements and whatnot between countries, but they get a lot of priority over parts as opposed to other sectors of business. So their supply chain issues, it's not there. It's just not a valid argument on their end anymore. And there are plenty sitting on the lots. The problem is they're making these vehicles with so many features and whatnot, and they're just increasing the price tenfold, even though they shouldn't. These cars shouldn't cost this much money. Inflation has been going down. The interest rates are going to start to be cut in the United States, at least. They're going to start to cut. So that means things are going to be cheaper for businesses as well, big corporations, once the interest rates start to cut. So RAM is another one, clearly, that could be on the chopping block. So Chrysler, I think Jeep is doing okay. Dodge is not looking too great, in my opinion. None of their cars are selling. None of the current performance vehicles. There are no new performance vehicles, of course, coming from a car enthusiast. And they're just everything that Dodge has, like the gosh, you can't even remember what they have, right? What would it be? The Durango. Like, all their vehicles are super expensive. There's not really any cheap ones. Again, no one wants to buy the Hornet. No one is buying the Hornet. So even though that's more affordable, more cost efficient, neat little car. It's a neat little car. SUV, crossover, whatever you want to call it. It's a neat car, but no one wants it. And the interest rates are really high. No one wants to buy a new vehicle right now. So Jeep seems to be the only one that's not on the chopping block. So one last thing I want to go over, because this is going to be a short video today, is to go over real quick again the 2025 Dodge Charger, because you know, there are some good things about this vehicle. And right off the bat, let's talk about engine and performance. So we know it's an inline 6 turbocharged with a high output model, putting out 550 horsepower. That's crazy. That's crazy. If this vehicle, I want to say the Dodge Challenger or Charger Scat Packs weigh like 4,400 pounds. If this vehicle can come in at like 4,100 pounds at 550 horsepower, and if it's all-wheel drive potentially, that would be insane. So actually, let's just knock 200 pounds off it. If it's even 4,200 pounds, that's a pretty big deal. 550 horsepower is quite a bit. And the thing is if this inline 6, which we've already had confirmation of, if it really is fully forged internals, you know what they say, downpipe tune, downpipe in an email, and this 550 will go up to 700 or more horsepower. Just like the newer BMW engines, this could be America's new BMW engine. It really could be. Now, whether you're a fan of the styling or not, that remains to be seen. It looks okay. It's kind of futuristic in the front and then old school in the back. I think that's kind of what they were going for. A little bit of mixture of both. And then another thing is the interior too, I think is really good. It's actually one of the better interiors I've seen from an American car brand in a while. It's sleek, it's clean, everything's there. This lighting effect and whatnot is really cool. But it just all comes down to, when the hell is this coming? When is it coming? Is there any info? Like, there's none. When is it coming? Because there is nothing on here. Just because Car and Driver always updates their stuff, there's nothing. We do not know when it's coming. And another issue, of course, we've already addressed it. It's going to be expensive. It's going to be expensive. I think there might potentially need... Oh my gosh. Could you imagine another American manufacturing car buyout from the government? Could you imagine that? Oh man. So, this is their problem. Like, and it was last time. I was too young to really remember it too much. I mean, I wasn't super young, but I was too young to really know about the last car buyout. And now that I'm older and watching all this unfold, it is 100% their fault. It really is. The fact that's just too expensive. People aren't going to be buying those. That's just crazy. $50,000 estimated. Like, the new GTs are too expensive, honestly. The Dark Horse is pretty expensive. The well, Chevy doesn't have an offering, so that's a whole nother story for another day. All performance vehicles, honestly, are like $60,000 and up. Like the new Audi RS3, all the BMWs. Really, the only fun cars are like Hyundais, which Hyundais came a long way. But everything is like $45,000 and up, and they go up rather quickly with adding packages, you know, options to the vehicle. And if the 6-pack HO is $50K starting, that's going to be ridiculous. Even the basic one, they're estimating $40,000. Good grief. We're just going to have to see, ladies and gentlemen. Stellantis might be axing some of your favorite car brands in the Americas, if not all of them. Who knows? If not all of them. Tavares has come out and said that we're doing fine in Europe. We don't need you, Dodge. They could sell them or just completely let them go. And then whoever wants to buy them out can, I guess. Or just let fade off into the sunset. So let me know what you guys think about Stellantis and what they're doing with the American car brands. What do you think about the new Charger having absolutely zero release date? It's kind of ticking me off. I had a Hellcat. I liked the vehicle. It was just easily stolen. These ones probably won't be the case, and I think these new inline six forged internal engines are going to be badass. Whether you like Dodge or not, that doesn't matter. You can still appreciate the engine and notice that it's badass. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. That's it with me, and I'll see you guys in the next one.